now.
Thank you very much, Dermot, and thank you to the VFA for the opportunity to come and speak to you again this year. Over the last 3 years, I've given a couple of these presentations to you at this talk, Wild Trout, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to discuss some of the research that myself and my colleagues are doing from a sciencey perspective and really communicate and engage with you as keen stakeholders in the fishery. And together, come together, and we've really, over the last few years, and you've seen it already this morning, and you'll hear more about it in this session, come together and really take science, take a whole lot of passion and goodwill and come up with a great outcome that we're really building towards having an improved and more sustainable fishery here in Victoria. So, being an employee of a university, I get asked to do lots of different things. And one thing sometimes is I get given a bit of a curly task from agencies, such as in this case, the Victorian Fisheries Authority, and they want me to talk doom and gloom, climate change, drought, why things are bad, how they're going. It's partly because if it goes horribly wrong, they can say I'm a boffin from a university and I don't know what I'm talking about. Probably, no, don't think so. But it's important questions, and I'm really happy to be involved and discuss these. Today, I'm going to give you some home truths, things that you already know. You're anglers, you're out there, you're keenly observing the fishery that you're heavily involved with. Things that have happened over the last decade, a bit longer, and some sobering facts about where things are potentially looking to go in the next 30, 50 years. Longer time frames than some of us will be around, but nonetheless, if we're keen custodians of our fishery, we should be really thinking on those time horizons in terms of where we want it to go. That said, just because there's a bit of sobering news doesn't mean there's nothing we can do about it, and I really firmly believe that we've got great opportunities to get proactive and get ahead of the curve and ensure we've got a good fishery in the future. So, and we'll touch on that towards the end, and then the rest of the talks in this session will no doubt cover that in more detail. So we've got a problem. It's getting hotter and drier. Our climate change predictions tell us this is the case, but our observations, what we've lived through, already show this is the case. We've got regularly getting record highs, record dries. Think about the drought going up in New South Wales and Queensland at the moment. We've come through the millennium drought here in Victoria, decade long, and we'll talk about that a little bit more. So hotter and drier, and unfortunately this is not very good for our trout because, as we all know, they love cool, fast-flowing water. So the conditions are changing, the environment is changing, which is putting extra stress on our fish populations, on the viability of our fishery. This is just a little note back to Anthony. We like to go and pick on the first speaker, and he obviously talked about size as being very important. I think it's more about the experience in fishing. I'm a bit of a purist in my fly fishing, so this might be my fish of the year. A great little story, lovely little brown. I spotted him on a little patch of sand on the Stevo in a tough spot, and it took me about 4 casts, but I got the drift just right, and he came up and snaffled it like a brown this size always does. But again, great experience. I love being on the water. I love my fishing. And it's really good to be involved in something which is hopefully going to better that fishery in the future. So when we think about this, we've got this changing climate. What does the future hold for our fisheries and for my fishing experience, your fishing experience? And more importantly, what can we do about it? Time travel. I've got some colleagues over in the Department of Physics, and they're pretty sure they're getting close to mastering this. We're going to have a working TARDIS looking for volunteers. There's about a 90% chance it'll blow up, but we'll see how it goes. If we could go forward and see where we're going, it'd be fantastic. But then we could go back and we could change things and do it better, but we don't have time travel. So we need to ask, how are trout going to respond in the future? We can look back. Understand past change gives us a really good understanding about what we expect to see in the future. And when we're looking at past change, it's always good to look at a period where we've got conditions that are potentially reflective of what we might expect to see in the future. And here we're going to look at the millennium drought, that really tragically dry period in the mid-90s through to about 2009, 2010, depending on where you want to put the line through it. But a period of record dry, really hot temperatures here in southeastern Australia. Here's a map from the Bureau of Meteorology. This is a map of rainfall deciles. This is basically saying the departure of rainfall in an area from the long-term average. Southeastern Australia is really, really red. Lowest on record rainfalls over this decade. We all know that. We were there. It was really, really hot. Obviously broke on those lovely drought-breaking floods. But during this decade, we had a very hot and dry period. So whilst on this map we can see there's a lovely big blodge, it's very hot, it's very dry here in southeastern Australia. What we know that whilst it was really dry, that pattern of drying wasn't uniform across the state. Some areas are more drought affected than others. And so this pattern's not consistent. This is very important to understand because when we go and fish our local streams, things might look pretty good. There's no real problem here. Someone else on the other side of the state are complaining, oh, it's terrible, and we start that reconciling between our experience and other people's experience can be difficult. We as scientists appreciate that there's variation and there's different narratives and different observations going on in different areas. Our job is to take those threads of information, we try and put it together and synthesize it and look for emergent properties, larger scale patterns. But nonetheless, we know that things are variable. For example, look at the flows of the Lerderderg. This is up near, I live up in Wood End. This is a river, a gauge on the Lerderderg River is showing a consistent long-term trend in getting drier and drier. We know this is our stream flow differential. This is the amount of flow. So the blue bars are when that year's flow were above average. The red bars are when it was below average. And we can see that there's a pretty strong decline here such that the last sort of decade or so has been consistently very dry. So this matches our narrative of a drying climate. Consistently, in contrast, other sites don't show this long-term trend. This is the Hauka River. And again, here we've got in the blue bars, we've got our areas of above average flow, and our red bars are below. And we can see there's a whole lot of red down here, but there's a bit of red over here too. So back in the 70s and early 80s, there were some really dry years there too. This looks like probably the 83 El Nino event associated with Ash Wednesday. But we've got no real detectable long-term trend. So you might say, well, there's no change going on there. What are you talking about, John? But we can do some statistics on these, and that's part of my job. I like playing with numbers. I like getting on there, and I sort of, well, what's the data tell me? And we can do some statistical analyses on this time series, and we can use a thing called a change point analysis. And we can take a time series of data, and we can work out, well, is there any abrupt changes? I can eyeball this and say something, but we can let the data tell us. And we detected about 96, there was abrupt change from a period of relatively sort of wetter conditions to a period of prolonged dry. So here we can start saying, well, this is a signal which is consistent with what we expect to see from a changing climate. And we do know that we're in this period now of prolonged dry in the Hauka. There are some good wet years, but there are also these dry years there too. We can now explore this effect of this step change. So this is period pre-96 and a period post-96, our data is telling us. And we can see that in this period, the big change has come about in terms of our spring flows. So the amount of water going down there in August, September, October, November is where the big changes across these two time periods has occurred. Summer flow conditions are about the same. Autumn flow conditions are about the same, there's no real change. Winter's sort of the same, but it's really this spring. And this is important. So in the pre-96 period, really characterised by quite wet springs, post-96 we've had a really big decline. This is a critical time for our little trout. Things are emerging from eggs, these little fry are around, little fingerlings are in this environment. They want to get a good feed, they need good conditions. And we know that good flows in a river are an important characteristic in helping survival of these fish. So we can see that we've got a change in our flow conditions at a certain period of the year that just so happens to coincide with a critical period of the life cycle of these trout. So this could potentially be a problem for fish in these systems. What about the trout? So the flow's doing these things. We're seeing a drying period and it's changing. What's going on with our fish? In 2005, in a previous life, I used to work for the state government here in Victoria, and I led a large-scale survey, a drought project, trying to understand the impacts of drought across Victoria. This is in the middle of the drought, very concerned. And so we had the opportunity to go across and survey 104 sites across upland Victoria. It's really quite pristine spots, quite hard to get to. That's not me, thankfully, but that was one of my people I was working with, and found a bit of water there on the way. It wasn't completely dry around this is the back of Marysville a few years ago. Got to go to some beautiful spots. This is, I think, Glen Maggie Creek, flowing into the McAllister, and a couple of other systems. So we went right across the state, across upland Victoria, surveying fish populations in these different spots. And what we found in this millennium drought, we had some data from these sites from previous to the drought, and then we looked at it again during the drought, and we found that across the state, there was this 20% decline in the number of trout across all sites, on average. Less fish. There's a 20% decline in the number of sites that actually had fish. So previously there was fish, trout, and now there's no trout. So 20% decline in the number of occurrences, 20% decline in the abundance of these fish. So quite large-scale patterns and effects across the state. But that doesn't tell the whole story. I've talked about the climate and the hydrology being variable across different regions, and we see the same thing occurring with our trout abundances. So here we see our work over in the East Gippsland. In the blue bar here, we've got the number of sites that trout are occurring at, or a percentage change in the number of sites, and this is our abundance. We can see in East Gippsland there was about a 25-30% decline in the number of sites that had trout, and a roughly about 20% decline in the abundance of trout in East Gippsland. In comparison, we can look at what happened in West Gippsland, and we can see that there was a decline in the number of sites that had trout, but those sites that did have trout, there was actually an increase in the abundance. So the signal's a bit flipped around here. It's not consistent everywhere we look. And we can look at other areas across the state too. So we can see in the Otways, for example, pretty good, healthy populations of trout that were doing well, and that area wasn't very heavily impacted by drought. In comparison, in the Grampians area, we had a complete loss of trout in our study areas. 100% decline in the occurrence and abundance of trout in those streams. Again, the Wombat Forest here in the sort of Central Highlands, again, big declines, 50-60% decline in the number of trout in those areas and the occurrences of those trout. So this is an area which was heavily impacted by drought. And we can see other areas here as well. The Yarra is pretty good, but the northeast had these declines. So it's important to understand that there's variability, and this will affect in terms of your experience with your fishing, but overall there's these signals that are coming through pretty loud and clear that there's something changing in our trout fisheries. So what about the future? We know that trout can recover. We know the rains came back, and we've seen some of the great work that Brett presented this morning, how we've got some good trajectories going on. There's recovery. Trout have got an innate ability to recover post-disturbance. They're very effective at getting back into areas. After a bushfire, for example, you'll see trout appearing very quickly, even though they've gone disappeared locally. But longer term, we've got to think, what's the long time horizon, 30, 50 years from now? To do this, I've enlisted a help of a good friend of mine, Nick Bond, who's based up at Latrobe in Albury-Wodonga. He's a mad keen trout fisher. This is him hooking into a nice brown on Botswood down in Tassie. We go down and have a bit of a fishing trip down there on the Central Plateau for every year or every couple of years. He lost this one. It was a nice fish too. It was poor angling on his behalf. But what we can do, and what some of Nick's specialty is understanding these climate change predictions and doing some work there too. So he's done some modelling to try and understand the potential impacts of climate change on our trout. Now, it's a two-step process to do this. First, we get all the data we can get our hands on. In this case, it was 7,000 surveys across Victoria of trout data, where we've got habitat data there as well. And we model the relationship between trout and their environment. What environmental conditions help trout persist in an area? What do they like? What don't they like? We characterise that in a model. And we do this across Victoria. We then take that model and we force it with climate change, changing temperatures, changing flow, and start using it to predict. So the model is well grounded in data, grounded in observation, and then we start saying, well, what if it changes? What's going to happen? To illustrate this point, we get a whole lot of fish survey data. We get a whole lot of climate, hydrology, topography, terrain data. We put them together. They come together in this model that explains the distribution of fish. Sorry, these figures didn't reproduce very well. Come and ask me about boosted regression trees later on if you want to know a bit more detail. We take them, then we add in some climate change scenarios, some low, some medium, some high changing scenarios. These things you've all heard about in the media, projected changes in temperature. And together with that information, we can then start coming up with different scenarios and predictions. So in a sense, this model is our time machine. It allows us to go forward and see what potential futures might look like. We can produce statewide maps. This is a historic distribution of trout and matches very nicely what was shown this morning. We can see here in the blue is better for trout. We can see there's a high areas of occurrence through here, down the Strzelecki's, down the Otways, but mainly through this lovely northeast area here in the upland Victoria. In 2050, under a high emissions climate change scenario, we can see big contractions in there. We see a big contraction, especially here in the Central Highlands region. Still good strongholds up here through the northeast, but again, we're seeing a decline in various parts. But these state level maps aren't very useful to you. They're not necessarily useful to managers. So we can downscale it. We can look at certain regions. And here are the different catchment management authorities, but we can now running these analyses on a region by region basis. So for example, let's look at West Gippsland. Here on the colour of the stream tells you the probability or the suitability of that stream reach for trout to occur. The bluer it is, the better it is for trout. And again, we can see here in these upper areas through here, up around Erica, and then up into the highlands there, we've got really good occurrence of trout. We can say, well then what happens if we have a bit of a slight amount of warming, a 0.3 degree amount of warming and about a 1% decline in rainfall. Compare the colours between the two maps. Some areas change, but not a whole lot. It's a bit hard to tell. We can make it a median emission scenario. We see a slight more contraction again. High emission scenario, we see a bigger contraction. So we can start seeing on a region by region, you can start picking out your favourite trout stream, what's going to happen. We can take these data, we can take our historical data and our scenario data, and we can difference them and say where is the greatest rate of change. In this case here, the blue means that there's actually going to be an increase in trout. A red means there's going to be a decrease in trout. And we can see here that the areas that are expected to be hit hardest by change are these foothill areas. Areas that have had trout, but they're potentially marginal habitat, and they're going to come even more so. A big decline in trout in those foothill areas in this region. Up in our upland areas, there's no real change at all because it's good for trout now, and even with warming, it's going to be good for trout still. There's other areas down here that it's always been bad for trout, so no matter warming, you're not going to get any change in trout because they're not there. So we can now start targeting and saying, well, this band of streams in this area here is those that are most vulnerable to climate change. We can have a look at the Goulburn. Here's our historic Goulburn data. Lots of trout occurrences. These little dots here are where we've actually got empirical data to back up the model. And we can see what's the difference, what's likely to happen, where's change going to occur. And again, some of these mid-reaches of rivers are going to be the ones where we expect to see the biggest impact of change. Again, we can do the same for the northeast. Here's our trout fishery areas here. Lots of trout occurring right across the area. We expect to see the waters around Myrtlefoot here and up in this area here, so Lower Nariel and whatever as well, are going to start becoming more and more marginal. Potentially you can see a decline in trout in those regions. And then again, for each of these rivers and reaches, we can actually get a probability change. So these data tables here, and we're giving these to fisheries to really help them understand on a local level where changes are going to occur, helps them target their management interventions. So, we know that the millennium drought that I talked about at the start of this talk, the conditions that we observe there are pretty much parallel to the worst case scenario that we expect to see in about 2050. So we've almost had a window into the future by looking at what happened in the drought. And heartening for us as researchers, we always try and see that what we're actually predicting seems to hold true. Nick's climate change predictions really complement and corroborate what we observed during our drought, so things are working. We said the impact of drought is not universal across the state, and the greatest impact is going to be in these marginal streams already. There's going to be some strongholds that are always going to persist, but there's going to be these areas that are going to be vulnerable to change, and some of them are areas where you guys like to go fishing. Having these predictive models are a fantastic tool. They're a bit academic, some of you might think, but they help us forward plan, they help managers think about where they should be putting their resources. So now we can start thinking about where should targeted management activity like revegetation occur. And I've been working with the VFA and CMAs on this. We've developed a revegetation prioritisation tool looking at stream shade. This is a reach of the Stevenson River here, and using how much solar radiation hits in there and a whole lot of other factors, we can start telling now these green bits here are where revegetation should occur to have the best bang for its buck. We're going to hear some talking about revegetation coming up soon. These tools here are already on the ground helping people prioritise where that activity occurs to get the best return for fish. I'd like to finish up with a bit of an idea here to sort of schematic to explain this. This is past trout distributions. This is where nice blue lines, this is where trout occur. There's lots of healthy trout populations. This is our present. There's already been change occurring. You've already observed change. There's a few less trout and a bit more marginal in terms of where trout, some of these habitats are. They've disappeared from some areas where they perhaps historically once were. If we do nothing in the future, we're going to see a big contraction because the climate's changing. Things will change. We're going to see a loss of habitat. We're going to see a decline in trout numbers. That's not appealing for anyone in this room. But if we get proactive and have a great goodwill like us here in the room and work closely with fisheries and land managers and keep them to account, we can get a situation where we can't halt climate change as a bunch of anglers in our case, but we can do things that build more resilience into our fisheries, improve our habitat, improve local conditions, to take away some of these extra stresses that fish experience to ensure that we've got a good fishery in the future. And that's the case for you here as active members and interested parties to get involved and really help drive this. Thank you all very much for your time.